What is going on? We're having a wheeling party in about 10 or 11 days. And so I want to go out and get some trail maintenance, some trail building done. Got one obstacle in particular that I want to do some work on. Unfortunately, it's like 5 degrees out. But I have to get it done because tonight it's supposed to snow like 12 inches. And then I go to work for 8 days. So today's the day I got. Hopefully our equipment works. So just mix up some new fuel for the chainsaw. We're gonna see if we can get this thing going. It is pretty cold-blooded. If we can get it going, then I'll sharpen the blade. And we gotta go chop down a big old log and get it placed. And then, again, cold weather permitting, gotta get the tractor fired up. I'm a little nervous about whether that thing's gonna fire 5 degrees with the diesel, but we'll see. We've got some boulders to move, so I'd really like that thing to start up. Ooh. All right, here's the spot we're going to be working on. I think I've talked about it in previous videos, but basically my goal today is to get that big old log cut down and get it placed up there between those two. And then if I can get the tractor going, I've got some boulders over there. Hopefully they're not too stuck in this frozen ground. And I want to lay them kind of between this log and that pile of logs. My buddy Dan and I tried to get over this log with our Jeeps, and both of us got higher centered. So I think I have a name for this. I think we're gonna go with tummy tuck, because you gotta have some high ground clearance at the belly pan, and traction might be a little better on our next trip because this is all hard now, but when we were trying to go through here, it was super soft and we just dug big old holes on each side. But that's kind of why I want to get some rocks piled on the other side of this log to maybe make it just a little bit easier. I'm not going to be able to get the hole dug up there because the ground is solid as a rock. But first thing before we get started, we're going to get this pile going because sometimes you got to do a little bit of multitasking. All right, I think it's going to take off now. Got a couple real pitchy pieces of dry pine there. Hopefully get a nice hot pocket, and I'll just slowly start pushing it over. It's gonna be nice to warm up on my brakes. So, all right, let's start cutting. All right, I don't think the camera's liking the cold, but got my wedge cut. So, it's absolutely kicking my butt. I sharpened the saw, but it's a big tree. So, all right, I cut the other side. I'm gonna try to use the wedge blocks that I cut out of this side to wedge it, but I might have to use this guy here. I'll turn the camera on for the exciting part. Well, chainsaw decided to not run, so ran back to the house. Got some stuff to maybe help out. And since I'm here and close on that tree, I think I'm gonna try to get that tractor fired up. So here it is, 14 degrees now, warming up. Nothing's going right today, guys. out of juice on the battery. Pretty sure my battery charger broke. This is how short I was for connecting it, but finally found a cord. So we'll get that going. The valve stuck on my starter fluid, and so it all sprayed out. So I'm out of that. So I'm gonna have to try to start the chainsaw some brake clean, or maybe since this whole endeavor has cost me an hour, maybe it'll start now. The weather is not cooperating, but all right. Hopefully this thing still charges. I think it's just the gauge on it that's broke. We'll plug it in and see what happens, and then make our way back out to cut that dang tree down. Also, it's so cold that my camera won't stay on, so it keeps like shutting off. Hopefully this video is not a complete flop. If I can't do any more work on the trail, we might do some work on the Jeep. Whew. Well, that chainsaw's a workout. All right, now we got to get this guy moved up there. It might be too big for the side-by-side. I think it's pretty big, but we'll try it, see what happens. If it doesn't work, I don't know. Maybe get my truck. Well, didn't make it very far. I'm gonna run back to the house and grab a strap, and we'll try winching while pulling and see if that works. What's working for me is the ground is hard. What's not working for me is it's icy, and that thing's freaking huge. Alright, where to next? That guy. Alright, decided to go up there because I need to get that log coming up the hill, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. I think I'll end up running into that tree, and I want to be to the left of that tree. So, alright, let's try it. Dang it, went a little too far. That's okay. Now I'm gonna just position right here and try to roll it over just a couple times and rest it against that tree and that tree. Yeah, this is gonna be good. All right, we got it. That thing is a lot bigger than I thought. It's gonna be pretty much impassable until we can get some backfill and boulders on this side. I'm thinking like backfill and boulders and then go down it would be fun. Coming up it, we need like 42s. But I like get over here with the hatchet or the chainsaw and cut off the rest of those tire getters. I'm gonna run back to the house, try one more time to get that tractor started. Kind of running out of time, but if I can get it started, we'll start yarding some of those boulders up here. The Ranger, it has been like the workhorse of DPV, at least up at the Cheney location. If you have like 5+ acres, I would recommend getting a side-by-side. It has been awesome. So for plowing the utility bed, and I just drug a massive freaking log up here with it, so that's awesome. All right, see if we can get that tractor going. All right, gonna go move some rocks. Did warm up a little bit, so that probably helped. What do you think, buddy? I'm gonna let it warm up for a little bit and then start yarding some rock. Well, got one rock moved. I tried to get it up there, but the tractor wouldn't make it up the hill. It's two-wheel drive. I'm trying to use a farm tractor as an excavator, and it's just not working out. So maybe gonna need to borrow my buddy's skid steer or something, yard some rocks over, but it's gonna dump snow tonight, so this will all be buried. This is a good start. I like it. Put the tractor back. And I think tomorrow we'll work on some signage. I got some names for these obstacles, and I got some pretty cool signs that we're gonna post out here. So, all right, see you tomorrow. Not 12 inches. A little disappointed by the volume here, but it's all right. It's picking up. It's not supposed to let off till the afternoon sometime. Saying about 5 inches now. We got maybe 2. So, but it's supposed to snow like several times over the next week. Hopefully by the wheeling party, we got a fair amount. All right, I'm gonna grab some signs. I got 2 obstacles that I want to get signs up because I have 2 obstacles that I have names for. The other ones are yet to be named. Hopefully my buddies come over, we can come up with something. But let me show you the signs I'm working with. My chainsaw gas tipped over in the back of the side-by-side, and now the shop smells, you know, awesome. Check these out. Those sweet. I thought they had holes in them. Oh, they do. It's just the metal house holes. But we're gonna put the name of the obstacle right down here. So I bought some paint. Let's go get these in the other garage and wipe them down. Get these names put on there. All right, so we're gonna use this Band Sickle tractor paint, gloss black. Just gonna brush it on. I think I'm gonna draw it with pencil first, because admittedly my handwriting is terrible, so I'm gonna try to, you know, at least have something to follow. I did set these signs by the fireplace for about 15 minutes, and that really brought the temperature up. They were pretty dang cold sitting out in the shop. So let me get a rag, wipe these down real quick, and then yeah, front shaft, tummy tuck. Prepped? I am not the man for the job. Okay, that's all right. Oh my gosh. Brush strokes are kind of cool, but I suck at this so bad. Yeah, I actually really like it. I think that is sweet. That is a sweet freaking obstacle sign. Heck yeah. All right, let's knock out tummy tuck. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. The brush strokes actually make it look like dangerous. Like an old mine or something. Oh, sweet. All right, we're gonna let these dry and then we'll go hang them up a little bit later. Let's pull the Jeep into the shop. Got some carb adjustments I wanna do. Forgot that I had these. Man, just that little bit of heat really makes a difference. It's only like 15 out. It was colder, so this feels like a heat wave, but it's not warm enough to enjoyably work. Anyway, all right, let's get this carb pulled. There's two things I want to do to it this time around, and I'll explain them as soon as I get that thing pulled off there. All right, got the carb off. So this thing has been kind of a pig off-road. Like every time I hit a bump, or you know, if it going up a steep incline or whatever, it kind of bogs out or dies or whatever. And I always just attribute it to, oh, that's life with the carburetor. Then I decided, you know, I'll look up, is there anything I can do to this carb to make it better off-road? Turns out there is. It also turns out that, I guess the Edelbrock is one of the worst carbs out there for off-roading. I didn't know that. Of course, that's according to some people's opinions. But there are a couple things we can do. First thing we're going to do is adjust the float level. So I got to pull the top of this off. And then while we're in there, so there's a bowl here and there's a bowl here, and they have a kind of a passage in the back that allows the fuel to equalize. Well, what happens is when you are on an off-camber situation, all the fuel runs from one bowl to the other and floods it out. So we're going to block that little passageway. The other couple things you can do, which we are not going to do, is you can put a fuel pressure regulator on here, and when you go off-road, crank it down to like 1.5, 2 psi. I have a fuel system with a return line, and so I don't think the fuel pressure is as much of an issue as if you didn't have a return line. because it might overpower those needles and seats. And then the other thing you can do is put in some spring-loaded needle and seat, which I'm not going to do because I just didn't buy them. So anyway, let's pull the top of this off and figure out that float level and the bypass blockage. Pretty good. Looks cleaner than when I put it back together, I think. So here's that bypass that we got to block, and what I saw, you just cut a little piece of tubing, like a chunk of fuel line, and put it straight down in there. Just mushed it this way. So we got to figure out what that height is and cut a piece of tubing, jam that in there, and then we're going to adjust the floats to a 1/2 inch rather than 7/16. 7/16 is Edelbrock's suggestions, but we're going to set them to 1/2 inch. What that'll do is just kind of limit the amount of fuel that's in the bowls that could potentially flood this thing out. Now, a problem I might run into is if I'm going through like a mud bog or something, I could potentially run out of fuel, but we'll see if that actually happens. All right. Just under 1/2 inch. So it's nice. Okay. This. Let's see if that'll smash enough to get in there. Yeah, just smash that piece of fuel line in there, and that'll block fuel from rushing over and flooding it out when I'm off camber. Alright, I'm going to get a 1/2 inch drill bit, set it underneath the floats, adjust the float level, and we can put this thing back together. Sweet, got those set. Let's get this thing buttoned up and fire it up. Sweet, that's all buttoned up. I'm not going to like test it today as far as off-road because the Jeep works right now, and I don't want to break it before all my friends show up to go wheeling in a couple weeks. So hopefully it works out. As soon as we go wheeling, I'll let you know if it made a difference. One more thing I want to do to this thing today is we're going to tie wire that low range shifter into low range. So I think it's already in low range. I'm going to crawl under there, tie wire it tight into position, so hopefully it stays locked in. So I'll wrap one end around a bolt on the frame, and then get the other end in the, there's 2 holes in the shift linkage on the transfer case. So then I'll tighten that down real good. And then in the span in between, you can stick a bolt or a nail or whatever and just turn it and turn it and turn it, and that'll get tighter and tighter and tighter until it's like nice and locked in. And I can show you what it looks like when it's all done. All right, see that little, you can see that little slot, yeah, right there. We're just stuck a screwdriver in there, tighten it down real good. Hopefully that'll lock her in. Now, if there's something like really wrong with the gears in the transfer case and they're just like not engaging enough, the torque of the engine might still pop it, even with that tie wire. But we'll see. Hopefully it'll allow us to have a little bit more fun. I'm gonna get this thing out of here, and then we'll go check on the signs, see if they're dry enough to go hang up. And yeah, it's snowing. It's snowing good. Now these are gonna need another day. So tomorrow we'll head out there and hang them up, find a good spot for them. We'll see how much snow we get today. That'd be cool. So anyway, see ya tomorrow sometime. Hang up those signs. Did some work with the old Ranger this morning. Got the circle drive all plowed up. This thing has been an absolute asset to the property up here. So glad we've got it. It's fun, it's versatile, gets us everywhere around the property. It's very, very nice. And yesterday, when the kids got home from school, ripped them around with some sleds on the backfield. Oh my gosh, that was a blast. Hey, those signs are all dry now, so let's go hang them up on the obstacles. Gosh, I love it. These signs are sweet. This is tummy tuck. Got a big old log here. It's gonna need some ground clearance at the belly, so hence the name. Still got to get some boulders yarded in here, but this should be pretty fun. Even if we got to bypass and just go over the little log pile when all my buddies show up. But this obstacle I think looks pretty rad. It's pretty long for an obstacle. Oh man, all right. Let's go over the front shaft. All right, and this one is front shaft. So this is where I broke the front drive line on one of these rocks. It's pretty tricky. It doesn't look like much here, but it's tight between these trees. And the line is you go in here and then you got to curve up before the elderberry bush over some boulders right there. And you really get locked up, and there's not a lot of room to back up once you start making that corner because of this tree. So it's pretty fun. I've never attempted it in the snow, so it's gonna be pretty awesome when it's all slick. Anyway, we got a wheeling party coming up like 10 days. Really excited about it. Excited to see how the Jeep works with those carb adjustments and locking that transfer case into low range. Hopefully got quite a few buddies coming over. There's a couple of them dealing with some work issues due to the inclement weather. But hopefully that all gets sorted out. Anyway, wheel it, wreck it, wrench it, repeat. We'll see you next time.